What clash are you looking forward to the most in round robin play at the Rugby World Cup? It probably depends on your country of fascination or potential group of elaboration. Of course, it's easy to go with the All Blacks versus France, especially if you're a Kiwi. So that's obviously of interest. But if I was to identify one outside of my own sphere, I think it's South Africa versus Ireland. I think potential of that contest, or that it could mean, the standard of the protagonists at play, their standing in the game as we speak, mean that the opportunity and the occasion could intersect with a pulsating and intense contest where you can see one side thrust and another side counter thrust, and it could come down to the person who's kicking goals or something of that nature. It seems like vibes like now we're on Tuesday in New Zealand and Saturday morning is when the All Blacks and France kick off. It vibes like we're right on the doorstep, and almost like the small talk and the talk about the Rugby World Cup has passed, and now it's time to talk Rugby World Cup as it unfolds. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the real deal and being able to see if we can provide a distinctive voice and platform, different from previously. Like if I look at my own Rugby World Cups, 2011 was very much on the ground. And even though I was tweeting and connected in social media, it very much came as a result of what transpired. Whereas 2015 was, because I was on this side of the world, was immersed in social media, and the results show that in terms of the connection and the pull and the lure and I guess the cut through. 2019 I decided to, I think I'd given it a break previously, and so I left it at that point. Didn't engage specifically for the Rugby World Cup, and I think I might have had a bit of a vibe about it. It just was different, a different event for us. And 2023 is another different event, but possibly for other reasons. And one of those is YouTube and what is transpiring as I speak, and not knowing exactly how it will translate, and ideas, how they will float and how they will flow and how they will fly, or if they will fly. So there is that different layer about it, probably less on X as now it's called, and more through video and in this type of dynamic. So it's fascinating, having been in every World Cup or lived through every World Cup, to see the distinctive flavour of some. And 2019 was also different previously, was because we had a provider in New Zealand that let's, how would I put this in my now middle-aged way, you had to cast it, I think probably is the right term, excuse me. You couldn't turn your TV on as per the other traditional ways. You had to cast it because it was a digital provider, and that was an extra sort of space that, disconnection, I guess you could say. So it was a very weird. The first match, for example, was in probably the second half, and the feed went because they were having trouble buffering or whatever they're doing, and so it was distinctive and different, and that was part of it. And that, in one sense, almost set the stage for the vibe for what would unfold. Even though the All Blacks won that match, the opening match, that just didn't sit. And I know before the semi-final, I wasn't comfortable at all about what would transpire. And you're not like that because you necessarily look at X's and O's. It's just that vibe about the occasion. So, Rugby World Cup, the match of the round robins that I'm looking forward to the most, outside of probably the All Blacks France, and that's a given, it would be the Springboks and Ireland. And to see who potentially will be playing the All Blacks in the quarterfinal. And I think that's part of it, you could say. But also just their elite standard and how either side are able to handle coming into it, navigate throughout, and then finish it off. It's going to be pretty significant and enticing to observe. There's so many games though. And I think Pool C and Pool D, potentially the best match of the round robin won't be between the top sides. It'll be between maybe out of Pool C and D. Maybe it will be Fiji winning a contest at the end, taking Wales at the end. Maybe it'll be Samoa who are able to take England, or Argentina and Japan are able to find the previous World Cup. So, a lot to look forward to. I encourage you to join me, and I will try and share. The plans are a little bit fluid based on certain dynamics in my world, but if we can hit it as large as we want to, then it's going to be a pretty comprehensive stable of videos that will navigate, especially in real time. I think that's probably my Johnny King Live historically and around the contest, and so that's part I guess I'm looking forward to as well, being able to do that and being able to offer that. So if you haven't subscribed, this is your first video, or you're not sure about subscribing, then what's the worst thing that can happen? You get annoyed about my videos and tired of the dial of the voice, and it's easy to unsubscribe, isn't it? Not that I'm suggesting anyone should do that, because you never know what could be in our future if we continue this journey. Probably enough. The daughter will be here soon. Look down, it's about 3 o'clock in New Zealand. So thank you for watching, and yes, share in the comment section the contest you're looking forward to the most. If it's your own team and your own nation, then maybe provide another one, because it's understandable, it's perfectly reasonable to be excited about the biggest contest for your own nation there. But in the round robins, one that's capturing your attention, that it doesn't involve your nation. I'll look forward to reading. Thank you for watching and engaging. I'm Johnny King.